Alright guys, Hayzink here, welcome back to the channel for another Street Fighter Duel video. So, one of the questions I get asked quite a lot, I get tagged in Discords, I get comments asking me, is when a new unit comes along, particularly one that goes into like a special summoning pool or into a divination pool, is I get asked, should I switch to this unit? Okay, and I'm going to give you the lowdown basically on how you can answer this question every single time going forward. Okay, so basically there's two, I want to say, high value pools. Is that a good thing to call them? So we've got the divination pool and we've also got the special summoning pool, right? Whenever a new unit's added to these things, people always want to know, should I be going for this new unit, right? This pool, I suppose, is a little bit more straightforward. I would say that if you've already started to invest into a unit, so if you've already gone and you've got your Akuma up to like SS, finish him off, right? Do that. If you've gone for Evil Ryu, got him up to SS, finish him off. Because there's no point in just starting all over again and leaving that unit sitting in your box unfinished. When it comes to this pool, I think the answer is very straightforward. Just finish whatever you've started on. Done? Done. Let's move on. So the more important one to address is the divination pool, because I got it yesterday. Should I switch from Sagat to Ibuki? Now I've done that, right? And I'll explain why I've done that, and I think this is something that you should apply to your summoning moving forward, right? So, why have I switched to Ibuki? Now if we go and look, you'll see that despite what I was just saying, I was summoning this guy, right? I did do Vega, and then I swapped over to this guy, and then I've now swapped to Ibuki. The reason I did Vega is basically because he was close, and I knew he was going to be getting added soon to shops and stuff, so I thought, you know what, let's get Vega up to the point where I can start using him, and he'll be useful to me. And then I started summoning for Sagat. Now the thing about Sagat is if I go to Garage and I show you, I pretty much, whoa, why have I got so many? These in my, have I not got these applied? Whoa, I need to really put them on, people. Oh, I know what that is. I demoted the linked characters. Oh, that'll explain why I was struggling on these bosses. But yeah, I've got 5 out of the 6 vehicles for Sagat, and I've still swapped away from Sagat. Let me just fix these two, because if I go to use them, I'll forget. Where's Chun-Li? There she's there. Put her. Garage. Done. Right, sweet. So I switched away from Sagat and I've gone to Ibuki. Why have I done that though? Well, let's look at the characters you generally can summon from this pool, right? Ignore Akuma, because you won't have Akuma unless you've already got him to SS. So you've got your tank character in there, you've got your DPS character in there, you've got your 2 characters who you can get from events, or you used to be able to get from events, and you've obviously got Ibuki, right? And on the other side, you've got your kind of tank character. Is he classed as a tank? Does Sagat get classed as a tank? I don't even remember the typing half the time with these people. Is Sagat classed as a tank? No, he's balanced, right? But he kind of is a tank, you know? He's like Bison, you know? He's kind of not necessarily that is his type, but he can perform that function, right? So a lot of people are going for Sagat if they want a character who can take a licking but keep on ticking, basically, right? Now, when it comes to your summoning priorities, should you switch from Sagat now, or Vega, or whatever? Now my answer to this is quite straightforward. We can't tell you. As content creators, we cannot tell you. And the reason we cannot tell you is because what is good for us might not be good for you. Every single situation is going to present itself in this pool. It's going to give you new units, and each of those units are going to fill a different role. And ultimately, if you are summoning for a specific unit in this pool, it's probably because you need that role to be filled, okay? Now, I was summoning for Vega because I wanted to be able to, in free team setups, have a reliable DPS option that I could have on each of the teams. So a boss killer, basically, on each of the teams to allow me to vary my setups, okay? So if that's you, then characters like Vega, characters like Trendy Kami, are the type of units that you should be prioritising if that is what you are most lacking in your builds. When it comes to taking damage, survivability, if that's what you need, then you should be looking at characters like your Athlete Chun-Li, and you should be looking at your Sagats, right? If you just want an absolute balls to the wall support unit who's also got crazy good damage, who'll go super fast and who'll help you beat lots of teams in PvP events, then definitely go for Ibuki. But should she be a priority for you over someone like, say, Sagat? Well, the answer is quite simply this. Do you feel like if you had more survivability on your team than you currently have, you would do better? Then stick with Sagat. If you feel like you could survive without Sagat, then swap to Ibuki. Simple as that. And apply that logic whenever a new unit comes out. Because again, if you look to me, the other content creators out there for these priority lists and stuff like that. Now, you know, if you've watched my videos, you'll know I'm not a big fan of like tier lists and stuff, because I feel like a lot of stuff can be different for different people depending on what they want to run, depending on the type of teams they like to play with and stuff. So if you put their character into, say, B tier, they might be absolutely outraged by that. So I don't like to necessarily do that. It's the same thing here. I don't really think it makes sense for me to give a priority list, because, hey, if you are one summon away, one unit away from getting Akuma to SSS, or getting your Ryu away to SSS, then surely you're going to want to have this guy being the priority for you when it comes to these divination pools. So I think what we need to do is really take a look at our own accounts, decide ourselves, look, what am I lacking here? Use lists or whatever you want to validate which unit is the best to fill that role. Then make that unit your number one priority when it comes to summoning in this divination pool. So I did swap to Ibuki, and I'm happy about that. Totally. If you're the same as me and you've went out there and bought this guy, you might not need someone who can be in your team, who can provide you with good survivability. You know, you might have him right there, you know. So I would say that if you are like me and you feel like those roles are not necessarily going to boost you all that much, then certainly go for Ibuki, because she's going to bring something new to the table. She's going to make things interesting. She's going to give you new fun strategies to play about with. I've got a long way to go before I can do that, but this is who my priority is going to be. When it comes to you and picking the best unit for you, just take a minute to look at your box, and whatever area is going to be plugged the most, if you get this unit, that's the unit you should be going for. No one else can tell you that, only you know that, and that is how you make the most of divination, and that is how you prioritise your targets in divination. Anyway guys, TED Talk from Hayzink over. Don't need to ask me anymore who you should go for in divination, because really, it's based on your account. There's lots of good options, and if you choose the right option, then you're going to see your account progress, hopefully, fly. Catch you in the next one. Peace.